My family excluded me from the Hawaii Christmas trip at my sister's request, so I kicked her and her husband out of my house where they lived rent-free. Let me back up. 2 years ago, my sister Bethany and her husband Trevor lost their apartment when his startup collapsed. They showed up at my door with sob stories about temporary setbacks and promises they'd be back on their feet in 3 months. I just bought a 3-bedroom house after years of saving. The extra rooms were supposed to be my art studio and home office, but family is family, right? I cleared out my plans and welcomed them in. 3 months became 6. 6 became a year. They contributed nothing. No rent, no groceries, no utilities. Trevor spent his days playing video games while Bethany went to yoga classes and brunch with mom. When I suggested they start paying something, anything, Bethany would tear up about how hard things were. Meanwhile, I was working 50-hour weeks as a software engineer, coming home to their mess, their noise, their friends crashing on my couch. Last month, mom called about the family Christmas trip to Hawaii. She was buzzing with excitement about the resort, the luau, the snorkeling. I started looking at flights, then she got quiet. Actually, honey, Bethany asked if maybe you could sit this one out. I thought I'd misheard. What? She's been so stressed and she thinks the family dynamic would be more relaxing without you there. You can be a bit intense sometimes. Intense. I was intense for asking them to clean up after themselves in my own house. Plus, mom continued, someone needs to watch the house and their cat. You understand, right? I hung up and sat in my living room, the one with Trevor's gaming setup monopolizing the TV, Bethany's essential oils stinking up the air, and their cat's litter box in my hallway because they couldn't be bothered to put it in their room. That night, I printed out a 30-day eviction notice. When I handed it to them over breakfast, Bethany's face went white. You can't be serious, she said. Completely serious. You've had 2 years of free housing. That's over. Trevor finally looked up from his phone. This is because of Hawaii? That's petty as hell. No, I said calmly. This is because you're grown adults who've taken advantage of my generosity for long enough. Hawaii just helped me see things clearly. Bethany called mom, who called me screaming about family obligations and forgiveness. Dad texted that I was being vindictive. My aunt posted on Facebook about my selfishness without naming me, but everyone knew. I didn't care anymore. When the 30 days were up, they still hadn't found a place. They'd assumed I'd cave, that family guilt would kick in. Instead, I changed the locks while they were out and left their belongings in the driveway with a note. You had 2 years to figure this out. The family went to Hawaii without me. They posted pictures of sunsets and poolside cocktails. Bethany's Instagram showed her looking relaxed and happy, finally stress-free. I spent that week painting my studio walls, setting up my home office, and deep cleaning every surface. I adopted a dog from the shelter, something I couldn't do before because of their cat. Mom tried one more guilt trip when they got back, showing up at my door with Bethany. Look at what you've done to your sister, she said. She's been crying for days. I looked at Bethany, standing there with her designer handbag from the Hawaii trip.
She asked the family to exclude me so she could have a stress-free vacation in the house I provided for free, I said. I think she'll survive. Mom's mouth fell open. Bethany had never mentioned that part. 3 months later, I hosted Thanksgiving at my house. Not for them, for my real friends and my co-workers who become family. Bethany texted on Christmas. Mom says you're being childish. When are you going to apologize so we can move past this? I replied, I hope you enjoyed Hawaii.
I enjoyed having my house back. She's living with our parents now. Trevor finally got a job at a call center. Mom still isn't speaking to me, but every morning, I wake up in my own space, with my dog sleeping at the foot of my bed, and my art studio filled with natural light. Best eviction I ever filed.